Viktor Frankl told us that everything can be taken away from the human being except one thing, the last of their freedoms, that is, the choice of attitude towards a set of circumstances to decide their own path. While the world pushes us to accumulate external goods, such as money, success, or recognition, the Doctrine of Cafh invites us to distinguish between what we have and what we are. Intrinsic goods are those possessions that the human being cannot lose, even in the face of dispossession by death, because they belong exclusively to the sphere of inner development. These values are permanent and universal, and cultivating them through discipline and self-knowledge is the only path to unshakable security and real happiness. This is how we confront what we are against what we have. Focusing attention on these core values allows us to move from material attachment to a more conscious life. By renouncing the possession of the transitory, the individual acquires an incalculable wealth that does not seek their own benefit, but that of humanity. A clear example is the gift of love, considered the greatest intrinsic good, which consists of the permanent ability to expand love to the universe without depending on the physical presence of the being who is loved. These goods are not an end in themselves, but rather means to reach the final goal of a spiritual life, that is, peace, virtue, and justice. This is how the awakening of renal wealth takes place. Sister Elizabeth of the Trinity, shortly before she died, said to her Carmelite companions, "At the end of life, the only thing left is love. If only I had known that before." According to the teachings of Cafh, there are 4 categories of intrinsic goods, which are spiritual. These goods emanate from the essence of being. They present themselves as having 4 fundamental pillars that we must explore to understand our inner heritage. The first pillar corresponds to the goods that we call magnetic, that is, those that originate from the energy reserve. They arise from the practice of renunciation, which transforms the individual into a center that radiates energy for the well-being of others. They are acquired through the asceticism of renunciation, such as preserving the word, avoiding endless conversations, and reserving the eyes, concentrating the gaze on one's own being and on what is necessary to observe at each moment. Perhaps the most powerful exercise is that of working for the sake of working, which consists of carrying out daily tasks without seeking personal satisfaction or a fruit for a job, transforming the effort into a permanent good. Pedro Pablo Opeka, known worldwide as the Mason of God, from a Slovenian family formed in Salesian and the Santinian tradition, lived in Patagonia during his formation and then settled in Madagascar, where he has been helping communities living in dumps for more than 40 years. His project is based on work, education, dignity, and community, not welfare. If they are willing to work, I will help them, he says. The second pillar is mental goods, that is, those that are circumscribed in the domains of thought. Here, the mind is understood as the instrument for liberation. They are acquired through the methodical exercises of meditation and concentration. Some examples are retrospective examination, which we usually do at night, where the events of the day are reviewed in reverse order. Through it, the individual develops the faculty of managing his mental forces. There's also the exercise of observation, which consists of creating opportunities in everyday life to pass through a room and, when leaving it, immediately write down everything that was seen. One can also take an object and carefully write down all its characteristics to enrich the memory bank. We also have the fixation on the single idea, which consists of suspending for a few minutes a pulse of attention to a thought or reading that is very interesting during a study or work, saving effort so as not to waste mental energy on fantasies and strengthening control over the mind. The third pillar is our inner strength, and it's made up of the soul goods, represented by the stillness that allows the soul to become independent of emotional coming and going. They are acquired and strengthened specifically by the experience of the mysticism of the heart and by the practice of the asceticism of renunciation. The individual stops seeking consolation for themselves and uses the strength of their work to relieve others' pain, achieving a stability that allows them to be in the world without being dragged by the conflicts typical of the world. Among the ways of generating soul goods are independence from emotional coming and going, through the experience of the mysticism of the heart, which seeks spiritual stillness and immobility to reflect the divine. The soul's good is linked to this process by allowing the soul to become independent of the oscillations of mood. Another possibility is passing from possession to participation. The mysticism of the heart is essential to the soul's relationship with God in a state of participation. It's also possible to count on stability and presence because the mysticism of the heart is the soul to remain fixed in its inner center while responding to life in a fruitful, useful, and efficient way. In addition, we have in our favor the simplicity of the soul, because in this way, finally, the simplification of our compounds occurs. Mystical practice supported by the good of the soul helps to move from a state of contradictory thoughts and feelings to a simple and harmonious state. The fourth and last pillar corresponds to spiritual goods and represents our divine essence. They're the immanent resources to help humanity. They're linked to the gifts of Cafh, such as wisdom, to appropriate living knowledge, counsel, to guide with faith, wealth, a supernatural security in the face of the future, and real love. These goods demand total surrender, always seeking transcendence. This is how the identification with the great work is concretized, allowing the soul to identify itself with the divine will. The experience is not made permanent only by the accumulation of experiences, but by an inner alchemy that leads to the transmutation of life into consciousness. What we simply have is transitory and external. But what we understand and incorporate into our notion of being becomes eternal. Under the motto, transforming mind into matter, we learn to transform the enjoyment of life into love and understanding. To achieve this, the gift of oblivion is necessary, to put aside the emotional burden and resentments of the past, to retain only the essential teaching. Thus, the soul no longer has experience, but lives in a state of constant presence. Finally, the intrinsic possessions are the only wealth we have left when we lose everything else. The ultimate goal is to realize egoism, a state of perfect individuality where the greatest good is total participation in life with all souls. As William Ernest Henley said in his poem Invictus, no matter how straight the gates, when we possess these goods, we are the masters of our fate and the captains of our own soul.